Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now, I haven't put a video on for 2 or 3 days, so I've just been thinking of what to do. And it came to me that I've been asked many times how I make these pond pots into pots for cattleyas. So I've got one of the pots in front of me, and the only thing I use is a pair of nail cutters and a Stanley knife. So I'll just show you what I do. It's quite simple. It takes a long time. It takes about 3/4 of an hour to do for every pot. So I'll not do that. I'll just do a top row of one to show you how to do it. Well, it's a bit cool in here, that's why I've got a thick jumper on today. So what we need to leave on are the down ones and the cross ones to give the pot a little support. But what I do is just get the nail cutters, go in the first 2 holes on the top, cut them, miss one, cut them, miss one, cut, miss one, cut. Always miss one. Then on the same one, cut the bottom one. Miss one. So that's all those cut. Now we'll get the Stanley blade. Hope you can see what I'm doing now. Move around here and just go from top to bottom on the lattice work. Down, 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 quite easy when you get going, but I'm in a funny position here with the camera. So I've got to be very careful with the Stanley blade. There we are. You can see, and then just clean the edges up a little bit stuck out. Just using the weight of the blade to do it. And after all it's done, they do a good job for the cattleyas. It really, all these gaps here really helps the cattleyas to dry off very quickly. Now a lot of people I know have used it. I used to use semi-hydro for cattleyas. This is years ago, and they used to do really well. But I've said it before, but after a couple of years it went downhill, really downhill. And I think that's with keeping the roots wet. So you get the general idea. I hope you can see that. So you keep going like that all the way around, all the 4 sides, and that's what you finish up with, all like that. And we've got a couple of cattleyas here, and the one here is the Golf Green, and this one is the Mahina Yahiro Ulii, and you can see they're both in the spots I've just cut out. So they're doing very nicely. They're not due to be watered today. I want them a good drying out period for these cattleyas. So at this moment in time I'm just watering them, giving them a good soaking once per week. Now another thing I'm going to do, which I thought of, and you know these RO units, to make 1 gallon of RO water you waste about 3 gallons of the wastewater. But I've just been testing it, and the RO water that comes in, and it comes from out of the tap, it coming out at about the moment about 2 parts per million, and this RO unit has been set up for at least 18 months, 2 years, and it's still coming out at 2 parts per million, so it's working very well. But this red one is all the wastewater where that comes out of. So instead of just letting it drip on the floor to keep the humidity up in the greenhouse, I'm going to use that, the wastewater, for putting a drip system on the Phragmipediums. Now I've tested the water coming out of the wastewater. I mean, the tap water is going in at about 137 parts per million. As I said before, the RO water is 2 parts per million, and the wastewater is coming out at 85 parts per million. So I thought that's a very, very adequate parts per million to use for the Phragmipediums. But I haven't set up the system yet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do that, well, I'm going to start it off today sometime. Now, I used to use this drip system, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and that used to come direct from the tap there, and the plants did very, very, very well. And for some unknown reason to me, I went off it, and oh yeah, I know why I went off it. I went off it because 1 or 2 got crown rot, and I didn't have any dragon's blood then, you know, to stop it. So not knowing a lot about crown rot, I took it off the system. So now I'm just going to put it back on to maybe 8 or 10 plants, just to see how it goes. Oh, and while I've got the camera here, the spike's just coming through on the Sesquipedale. Put it back a bit, then we can see properly. It's difficult because they're very, very hard, these. There it is, coming up very nicely now. And I've just got a little bit of watering to do today for the hanging plants, so what I've done, I've got the bucket full of RO water. I'm just going to flush them now, and I've put nothing in, and the temperature of the water is around about probably 20 to 22 degrees centigrade. So I'll just water these. Now, this unsightly thing is the bottom half of the Renanthera I chopped off. And as you can see, I've got little white roots growing now, so that's going on. This should produce some cakeys from somewhere. Don't ask me where it'll produce them from, but that's what it's supposed to do. Whether it'll work or not, I've no idea, but I'm a great one for doing experiments, and probably 50% of them come off. That's why I'm experimenting now with the drip free when I get it all set up. So this has got some very nice new root tips on it. So something's happening, and I keep it well watered, this, and I water it sometimes twice a day, because it's only got the roots and the odd leaf, so it doesn't need soaking for 20 minutes or something like that. So I'll just run through them, that's one. And where's the top half? And this is the top half of the Renanthera. A few leaves here yet want to come off. Still very firmly stuck though, so I'll leave them. And this has got some nice root tips growing. So I'll just put that in there and leave that for a while. That's it. And then I've got these Arangus to do. I'll put them on the table, the Arangus. Step back so we can see them. These all seem to be doing quite well. What we're waiting for is the warmth. It's supposed to be 17, 18 degrees on Sunday, and it's about 7 today. It's probably 11 tomorrow, 18 on Sunday, and down to 7 or 8 again on Monday. So that's the sort of weather we get here. Now they're all the Arangus. Put this back in up here. And the next one is the species Renanthera, Renanthera philippinense. And that's got some nice root tips growing as well. I've got nothing in this water, only a little touch of calcium. And a little touch of nitrogen. Probably about 50 parts per million of each. Because at this time of year they need nitrogen. They need calcium all the year round, but at this time of the year they do need nitrogen. You know, and at the back end of the year when everything's coming into spike and bloom, they need plenty of phosphates. So just put them in there for a while, you know, so I can do the other things. Come back this afternoon and do some more. And then we'll wet all the Arangus. What you should do when you put them in like this and the soaking, and the bubbles will come up from the roots, which shows that it's taking in water. And once the bubbles stop coming up from the roots, then they've got enough. Now I won't hang this up, it'll drip all over me, so I'll just put it down there, let it drip dry. Arangus mysticida, just give them a quick dip, and I'll come back and, as I said this afternoon, and give them a proper soaking. Just give them a bit of water now to be going on with. The trouble is these days we've got plenty of time, haven't we? You know, it's just finding something to do. You see all the bubbles coming up now from here, where the roots are soaking in the water. It's still bubbling, but will not bore you watching all these. And the only other thing that's happening in the greenhouse is this Cymbidium. It's just going over. You can see all the edges going frilly, but it's still a little bit of colour in the greenhouse, which I haven't got, only green. And then I've got the another Cymbidium here that's just starting to open up. It's annoyed, but any colour will do for me at the moment. Don't know what it is or what colour it'll be, but it's looks a bit yellow and reddish on the back side of the petals. Anyhow, we'll see what that's like when it opens up. And one thing which has amazes me, I've got this Caicus Dendrobium delicatum. It's got 5 flowers on, that's all. My greenhouse is 14 foot by 8 foot, and these 5 flowers, you can smell them as soon as you walk in. Absolutely beautiful perfume on them. But 5 flowers, you know, and they're putting out the perfume in this size of a greenhouse. I couldn't believe it. Here's the Dendrobium nobile that's growing very well. Remember, I bought this and it started putting these roots up sort of a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, but it's coming up very nicely. So I'm feeding it well and watering it well, and it's doing fine. Dendrobium nobile. Here's a Paphiopedilum that I thought wasn't doing very well. It flowered there, then it started dying off. See that leaf there? That's almost ready for cutting off. But I'm pleased to say it's growing a new, there's a new growth coming up there. So fingers crossed that could do well. That's a Rothschildianum cross Colopa Kingii. Here's another one that wasn't doing very well, but it's doing okay now. It's got some leaves, old leaves that need to come off, but I'm going to let them die off properly, that one. And you can see it's got 2 nice leaves coming up in the middle. So this could do alright. Just short of that, bit better weather here. And that one is Praestans, Paphiopedilum Praestans, crossed with Parishii. Well, that's about all I can show you today. I'll get on with doing the drip system this afternoon later on, and we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do a little video just to show you how I make it. That's if I know how to make it now. I haven't given it a lot of thought yet, but we'll do it just in case. So thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.